Welcome. We're doing some PvP and we're on the road to the top 100. So I'm going to show how I got there. I'm currently battling it out around rank 60 to 70 every single day. And these are the types of teams that I'm facing. So if I see, you know, Auron, Gilgamesh, any ice unit, I go for it. There's only really a few types of teams out there, and the teams that I avoid, well, you know, you guessed it, it's Tidus, and then 2B is kind of hard to deal with, but we'll talk more about that later. So the plan is line up Rhaldor right across from King Mont, as you're seeing right now. He's going to use a nice chasm render. And it can do way more damage depending on how the King Mont is actually spec'd. This footage, nobody has Phoenix yet. I don't have Phoenix, VC, or Esper, and I don't expect my opponent to either. But that is now starting to come into the rotation. But you see a lot of these teams. So there's King Mont, Yuna, X teams. And that X could be Gilgamesh, it could be Auron, 2B, and Tidus. And then there's some wildcard teams that are, you know, there's some fire teams, there's, you know, 9S is being in the mix. And I've also seen even things like Luartha being used with the fire teams. But generally, if there's a nice person unit, I'm in pretty good shape. And the exception is if I get berserked. So maybe we'll show how that goes later on, but if King Mont can get his berserk off, it is a game ender a lot of the time, so you have to be really careful around that. But you can see this is a pretty easy cleanup because I can just do so much damage with punch attacks on King Mont and fire attacks on I guess it was Auron for this one. Boom. This next fight is against my friend HKT Phil, who's not only in my guild, he's from the same city as me in Canada, which is pretty cool, so we know each other in real life. Unfortunately for Phil, I've been using him to farm wins. I wait till after he's done his arena. He doesn't know about this, by the way. And then I just beat up on him 5 times, or however many times, until I go above him, and then I go look for somebody else I can beat, and I beat on them as many times as I can before I pass them in the rankings, and then the bonus goes down. So with the people, once you get high enough, the people above you have a bonus to beat them, and the people below you have a reduction in the points that you get. So it's all about waiting. One of the mistakes you can make, and I made this, is to just try to force wins and then lose a bunch, when what you need to do is wait until people have played and the board that you can see of opponents changes around. So this Gilgamesh is going to do something that I'm going to recommend all you Gilgamesh players do if you have to come up against fire players. And we'll see if he gets a chance to do it. So Armor of Discontinuity, that is the number one thing that helps me not one-shot Gilgameshes with my Rhaldor and Oelde. If he doesn't have that on, then he gets one shot by those units. And if he survives and he kind of gets after people, like Kotetsu plus King Mont, like you can really take care of, like Rhaldor can die from that. I can lose to ice teams, although it is very rare. There we go. Rhaldor is really pulling his weight in this comp. So King Mont, if you're wondering, he's got his, we'll go over at the very end, we'll do like all the stats and stuff, but King Mont, he only uses bells and proclamation, everything else for TP skills is off. And then we have, here's, watch this, so full life. But it's not a full life because we got Maiming Blade and it persists! And here we go, here's the LB. And we got King Oelde from the Spirit Realm helping out, and then we got King Oelde in the flesh helping out. You can stun me, doesn't matter. Because I got monks. So Yuna's kind of a wild card, like she can really mess you up. You have to take a close look. Like there's some Yunas that are, you know, they're just built to be healing and kind of like, they'll do some damage of course, but they're built to be healing and supporting. And then there's some Yunas that are built with like super high magic attack and like have Bahamut VC and stuff. You gotta watch out for those because they can still, even with the map settings, they can still get you. So I could show you more and more fights against my preferred targets, but it's pretty straightforward. Fire units beat up on ice units. So after this match, I'm going to show you some testing I did with an alternate composition designed to take on 2B and also to possibly take on Tidus if I need to. If things got really bleak and I couldn't find any ice units or other fire teams. So if I see a Luartha, I love that too, because I'll put Rhaldor up against her. But whenever I can isolate a Mont like this and then make sure that Rhaldor is fighting him, it's really good. Especially re-raise on Yuna, like that's fine because I can generally kill everybody else faster because she's the one with Aeon Bond. So as per usual, little chasm render. Let's go. Best limit burst. It missed. It missed him. Who misses King Mont? Okay, here's my King of Leonis. Can we get a Berserk? So this is such an important LB. He won't use it unless you turn everything else off, or a little more reasonable, you can level it up. I didn't realize that when I was pulling for him, so he wasn't using it, and then I realized, yeah, it's the potency isn't high enough. So I maxed it. This Gilgamesh, he's just not going to do anything. He's Berserk. This Yuna, like, maybe what's going on with this Rhaldor? This is like the most evadey King Mont ever. I mean, he's got stats, but get out of town. So we're just gonna beat up on this King Mont, like he's got no help. And then maybe a full life. But you gotta have 97 faith. Or that happens. But that kind of pays back for the misses, because like Rhaldor doesn't normally miss a King Mont twice. So we should be in pretty good shape here, but you never know. The maiming slash is so huge for that. Woo! It's a lot of damage. And keep in mind, we don't have Phoenix yet, so that will be less damage with Phoenix. But yeah, that maiming slash, so when she gets her Aeon Bond, it's not going to heal her to full, and then you can have a shot to, or chance to one-shot her. Okay, so here's test number 1. We've got Liart and Tidus, and then King Mont. King Mont needs to hold attention. Tidus can kill the other person's King Mont, and then Liart, she can hit the 2B, hopefully. Liart, if you don't know, has the highest accuracy in the game. She gets it from an incredibly high dex. She gets it from a master ability, and even if she doesn't use sharpshoot, she can hit with all her other attacks, hopefully. Not 100% hit all the time, like, you know, sharpshoot will hit all the time, but it's going to hit a lot of the time. So hopefully, you know, that works out. We'll see if this will go, because sometimes I want to be able to take on other teams and get that big rank bonus. But absolutely essential for Liart is bells, because her AP generation is very, very poor. You don't want, she's not weak, but she's not super strong, so you don't want to waste her time auto attacking at all. Okay. So I don't have Tidus's his card, so he doesn't have any defense penetration, which is you know, not ideal. But what can you do? All right, barrage. See, and there's a big 3,500 to 2B. We're doing some damage. So on this comp, you're probably wondering, like, okay, yeah, so I had to take the bells off of Mont, and that kind of makes it so he's not going to use his LB at all. Oh no. Okay, we survived. Yeah, we're not hitting. Let's go do your thing. No! So this Yuna's gonna end up tanking. Yeah, perfect evade, of course. I was already gonna miss. Why do you even need a perfect evade? Ugh. Watch this poison damage though. Boom. Poison damage. Okay. Things are looking not as good as they could be. Why is, like, so I guess, does that mean that the... Yeah. Wow. So we lose this one, but I'm just wondering, was the 2B so evasive that even Liart had a 0% chance and just went for the Yuna instead? We at least got to see the Yuna die to poison, which was freaking amazing. But I'm just wondering, like, did Liart not have sharpshoot? What was going on there? We're gonna give it another try. Okay, Liart round 2. Let's go. So Tidus, I got him using the Saintly Wall, and then I've actually, I don't know if it's on this fight, but I turned off Cheer because I want him to use Hastega and keep going forward. I don't want him to get mixed up by like running back and forth trying to use Cheer on people. But this should be a pretty good match. What I should have done here is I probably even could have put Elda in Tidus' place to, you know, really beat up on this Gilgamesh. Because he's going to take more from the Kotetsu, although he did pretty well. He's got the barrier. Okay, so can we take out an enemy Tidus? Look at that. We gotta watch out. Here it is. King of Leonis. Yeah, double Berserk. So this can really lose you a fight, although we're in okay shape. In that we got poison immobilized. He's actually got resist to poison, I think. So for that to land is pretty funny. Yeah, that will do it. Okay, we're luckily, I mean, this is gonna stop King Mont from going after Liart. Look at that poison damage, 2k poison damage. This might actually be winnable. Barrage, oh man, it's not doing that much damage to Tidus. And we're just auto attacking. So it's gonna depend, can this Tidus hunt down our Liart? Run! Run, Liart! Sharpshoot, not quite enough. Oh, but he can't make it! He's got a Saintly Wall, he can't make it over! I guess he didn't have the AP. Okay, we're gonna do one more. This is from pretty early in the journey, but it illustrates how good the Berserk is when you're able to Berserk your opponents. This Auron doesn't know it, but he's about to get wrecked. Re-raise on yourself, moving forward. That's good though. That Yuna's not going to hide in the corner like that other one did. See, that's great. Rhaldor dodges the AoE because he goes far enough forward. He's got the 4 move. Auron can hit them both. They don't care at all. And there's Berserk. Unfortunately, it's against me. So Rhaldor's got 79 AP, and he can't use his LB to finish off that King Mont. Now Rhaldor's dead. He would have finished the King Mont. Boom, there goes the Auron. But we've got a King Mont as well who has not been able to use an AP skill. He's down. And they're full-lifed. So that's kind of cool. We got a little comeback there, but unfortunately, once you lose that opportunity to get the I'll show you the lose. There you go. You lose. Okay. Once you lose that opportunity to use your AP skills, it doesn't matter. Like sometimes if you've already been winning, like if you're so close to winning, you could finish off with auto attacks, like sure. But a lot of the time it's going to stop you dead in your tracks and you're going to lose a match. And it sucks. So far, I haven't really found a way to guarantee that he's going to do that. He needs to be able to move up into the middle of the opponents. Your allies can't be too close because they'd be hit by it. And then you also have to line up with their agility, right? So if you're too fast and they're very slow, they might actually get the first chance to move into you. But then if you're too slow, they might go before you. Like, you just don't know. So it's really tricky to work out. But when his LB goes off, it's pretty insane. Right now in the mirror match, when you both have King Mont, it's kind of annoying to figure it out. But in the future, when we see less King Mont, it's going to be so much more fun knowing that you have the potential to do that and they don't. But until that happens, we're just going to have to kind of roll the dice. Unless you have tips for me on how to make sure that your King Mont is the one that does that. Okay, we're going to finish off by taking a look at my team, and you can see I'm rank 67 right now, and I'll do my 5 matches, and then I'll use 3 of the refresh potions per day, and I've been doing that every day. So this is my main team here. We've got Oelde, Mont, and Rhaldor, and depending on where the enemy's Mont is, I will actually just go ahead and switch these guys on the outside to try to line up better matchups. And I do that per matchup, no matter how many times I have to do it. I don't just roll with the same thing. What I've settled on now is to have Oelde get some agility from the pod 153, and then he uses Rhaldor's TMR, and this is to give him combat supercharge. Now this raises accuracy, which is good against 2B, but I don't really pick her very often, but it gives move +1, which is just super important for getting him into the fight, or getting him right up to like a Gilgamesh, and then all of a sudden he could just one-shot them before he moves over to King Mont to damage him. So otherwise I've got the Demon Wall Esper on Oelde, and then that allows me to have 45 slash resist, because no matter who we're facing, you're basically fighting slash attack, and then the exception would be something like 2B being able to use striking and pierce attacks, and Auron using some strike attacks, but then we've got the ice resist here that's pretty huge anyway, so we're looking really good. Monk sub, of course, and then your masteries and counter thrust. And then for Rhaldor, you can see his attack actually gets pretty high now that I have Phoenix maxed. And with him, we've got Odin because it gives him just an insane amount of agility. He can hopefully go a couple of times. We've got the 4 move from the Thief Lore, the Warrior Spirit to get that extra bit of attack. And then you can use some defensive buffs on Paladin, and then everything else on Pugilist is there as well. But this Phoenix, this is new to the team, and then it just gives you a ton of stats for fire units. And then the limited bestowed effect, getting that 30% attack, that's really huge. Rhaldor was the weakest member of this team, but he had the best, he had defense penetration and lots and lots of strike attack. But he's got the this rope here that gives you 8 slash resist because he doesn't have as much naturally. But when we take a look at his stats, so he gets up to 28%, and then of course he's got the ice resist here as well. But then 35% missile resist, and that's some help from Odin as well. So if I see somebody using Luartha in a fire team, I can line them up there as well, and then he can go kill that Luartha pretty easily. And then King Mont himself, I've got the +5 raid gear here for the area attack resist and the 20 defense. It's pretty good. The bells, super essential for him, and then his own VC, of course. Although I think there's some other options here. So in this party, obviously his own VC is so key because everybody gets the benefit from it. Like, just look at Elda's health. It's like 6,600. But there's some other options for you. If you're not using a fire party, then I think things like, Fenrir to get his speed up if you wanted, or to get some magic attack resist. This will be more important on a feature map when magic attack resist isn't raised for everybody. The other one I would consider also is Odin, because he gets so much AoE resist that people will use single target attacks. So this 20 unit attack resistance will be really important for King Mont. And then another one that I think is actually still good as always is your Leona's Castle to get 15 defense and 15 spirit, and I really do think that this could be worth playing around with depending on what you're asking your Mont to do, especially if you don't use bells on him. If you want him to be an absolute tank, I'm still working on a build maybe where I make him just an absolute tank with Mercy's Grace to raise elemental resist and not use bells, but for now I'm just doing what works. So I kind of rotate through some other teams. This is a team that I would use against a 2B team, except, whoops, this is from earlier. Here we go. So this is something I might use on a 2B team. So Elda's going to get accuracy up here, and then we've got Liart with the bells. And then you saw this team that I used a little bit, and then I think... yeah, and then I've got one other variation. So this is something I might use on a fire team. If I saw something like Luartha, King Mont, and Yuna, I might line up like this so that, Tidus is going to be good against the Luartha missile attack, and then Rhaldor is just going to be able to, he's got good missile resist, but then they still have slash resist and stuff, and we're still able to get at people. So this is my comp. Those are some matches. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the comments. We'll see you on the Discord. Please join the Discord. I fixed the link for those of you that tried and it didn't work. My bad. It's working now, though, so come on over and join us. See you next time.